What's up, guys and gals? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys Ayakashi Triangle Chapter 50 review. 50 chapters into Ayakashi Triangle. Wow, I did not actually expect this series to stay in serialization this long, because in all honesty, as I said, it has some major flaws going 50 chapters and not really solidifying anything super crazy, super important overall arc styles or anything like that. It seems to be we're still in that learning stages, and it's been 50 chapters, so a little surprised. I like the series, but it's just okay. It's just a fun little lighthearted thing to follow when we're doing all the serious stuff with, One Piece, My Hero Academia, and Black Clover and stuff. It's sort of just a relaxing villain of the week sort of thing, and maybe that's why it's still in serialization. Get away from some serious, have a little bit of comedy, have a little bit of fun. Maybe that's the case, I'm not sure, but either way, we hit 50 chapters. Now, some people consider the 50 chapter a milestone mark. Some people say it starts at 100 chapters, etc., etc. But if you guys don't already know, I made a video all about expectations of fans for milestone chapters, and you should definitely go check out that video. But to sum it up, I made multiple graphs to showcase that honestly, milestone chapters, there is very little basis for milestone chapters to be important chapters in manga, for the most part. There are of course exceptions and outliers, but on average, it's more likely that milestone chapters are just another chapter than the other way around. So, but definitely go check out that video. So, without further ado, let's get into Ayakashi Triangle Chapter 50. I don't really have much to say about it, though. I realistically, I do not, because pretty much here, what we're getting is, and for some reason, nothing wants to load right now, so that's weird. But that's fine. I guess I'll just go offhand. I already read the chapter. So, I like to pull it up for visual aids, just to keep the old noggin running, but I guess not today. So, this is basically Roka, the Snow Maiden, the Ice Maiden, blah blah blah. She wants to go out and play. Garaku's at a thing, and the mirror can't go outside because she'll rust because it's raining and stuff. And Suzu and Shirogane are off to do some sort of class or whatever. So Roka is bored, and she's going to spend time with Matsuri. Now, of course, her and Matsuri have a bit of a head-to-head sort of relationship. They're not exactly bosom friends or anything like that. So it's sort of an awkward situation. And of course, Roka being the classic the baka, sort of thing about her character, Matsuri does bring her home with her, and they tried playing video games and stuff, letting her win and stuff, and she doesn't seem to be having a lot of fun. Then the same with the app. She tries using this like a filter, a Snapchat app, to show like, hey, you can do this and this and this if you take a picture of yourself, And Roka is actually enjoying all this, and Matsuri's going, she's really not enjoying all this. So it's one of those yin-yang back and forth things. Also, apparently the grandfather, which, I mean, yeah, sort of, does look like the Russian version of Santa Claus, Did, I guess, is the name. So Did, maybe Did is meaning grandfather, not Santa. I'm not sure. I didn't get a chance to look it up what it actually means. But so she mistakens Matsuri's grandfather for Did, and then shows why she mistaken that. And Grandpa Matsuri, is just like, oh, yeah, I do sort of look like that. Yeah, okay, cool. So, anyways, it's not really, what's ironic is it's not exactly relevant. Like, they do that, and we think we're going to go on a line about that, about trying to convince her that is not Deed. But it just goes nowhere. They go to the house. Oh my God, Deed, my grandfather, you're here, blah, 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 and here's all the backstory. Now let's go back to the original purpose of the chapter, and it doesn't really seem to be relevant for the rest of the chapter, so I found it very odd, honestly. Maybe it's set up for something in the future, potentially, I guess, but who knows. And then the other thing is that we have, she's afraid of thunderstorms. And that's basically the end part of the chapter. She's afraid of thunderstorms and stuff, and of course she still can't control her Ayakashi energy. So of course, ichi moments ensue. She tried to make her own dress, but she can't keep the form because she's nervous, she's scared, and she doesn't have full control over her powers. We know that from the previous chapters when we met her. So Matsuri is trying to get her to calm down. So he's trying to think, what do I do? What do I do in this situation? What would Suzu do? Remembers how Suzu calmed down Roka the first time and just basically hugs her and says, it's all right, everything's going to be okay, and then proceeds to do a sort of this is very classic. This has been done so many times. For God's sakes, it was done in the Ted movie, for God's sakes. Just a little more vulgar. But the idea that, if you're afraid of thunderstorms, all you have to say is magic words, and all that stuff. So Matsuri tells a little story, which honestly may or may not be true. I did not have a chance, have a lot to do today, so I didn't get a chance to look it up if this was an actual, like, a fable or a story from Japan or something like that. But apparently, like, everywhere was getting thunderstorms and lightning storms and all this stuff. But there was one little village, just one little town, that was never getting struck by any lightning. Nothing befell it in that way. So, and the name of the town was like Kuraramama or something like that. Sorry, the chapter's not loading, guys, so I can't get the actual name. But it was a name, and so ever since that day and ever since that tale, saying the name twice, just saying it over and over is supposed to make the thunderstorms go away, sort of idea, sort of like doing a rain dance or doing a sun dance or doing whatever, like one of those type of stories, right? So honestly, that's not too bad writing style, because it does make sense, and I am curious if that is an actual thing. I don't know. But either way, so it does seem to work and whatever, and she ends up falling asleep, and Matsuri's just like, all right, well, at least that got taken care of and stuff. And then, of course, that's when Suzu and Shirogane have to walk in, so shameless, yada, 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 and that's the end of the chapter. So once again, bit of a fluff chapter, nothing too great, just a little more information, I guess, about Roka, I guess, them trying to sort of get along a little bit better, because that's what Suzu wants at the beginning of the chapter. So that's pretty much the chapter. There wasn't really a whole lot to say. I know some people expect, once again, like I said at the beginning of this video, people expect milestone chapters, and regardless of what you consider a milestone chapter, some people do think chapter 50 is a milestone. And even if you do, there's very little evidence to support that a manga will automatically change the pacing, the premise, or their storyboard line to sync up with a specific chapter number. Sometimes it's more frequent to happen for the first, like, chapter 100. That's got a little more basis. But for the most part, no. Like, there's a couple of manga that do it all the time. Fairy Tail was a perfect example. The hundreds were always very significant chapters. But for the most part, it doesn't sync up with a lot of long-running popular mangas. So, regardless of that, the chapter was okay, but it was nothing special. And honestly, Roka is not really my type of character. I'm just about her. So, yeah, so honestly, it wasn't the best chapter this week, that's for sure, but it wasn't a bad chapter either. But what did you guys think of Ayakashi Triangle Chapter 50? Are you as surprised as I am that it's still ongoing? Because I certainly am. I'm very surprised that it's still ongoing at this point. I really did think it'd be canceled. Things have been canceled for less that I have read before, so I maybe people just really like the art, or maybe everybody's just a bunch of perverts and just like the Ichi side of it. I don't know, but either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. As always, don't forget to drink responsibly, as always, and we will see you guys back here again next time. This has been Griever, signing out. Later, everybody.